Gustav Roux. How are you, sir?
I'm very well, thank you. Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me on. Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to have you on. Now, we've never met other than about 15 minutes ago as we were getting
It's
things ready in the background. So why don't you share a little bit about yourself, your background, and where you've come from and how you got to where you're at today?
okay. Well, I was 19 years old when I got born again. I lived in South Africa most of my life. I was born in a little town called Randfontein, which is in Johannesburg. I lived there for most of my life. I got married, then moved to Cape Town. I lived there for about 12 years, and in that time I was in full-time ministry with my local church. We planted 3 churches there.
So, Gustav, one of the things that I do like to ask people, because this is new to most people, at least within the last 5, 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
And there's a point where, most of us, I would say, we're stuck in our religious spirit, had our, religious training, whatever it might be. And then Father took us. Now, that training may have just been what you were taught by your parents or what you were taught in, church or so forth. But
Yeah.
at some point, for a lot of people, there's a place where that tipping point where they finally have to decide, are they going to go over that edge into this new way of understanding God, stepping into the spirit realm and engaging with him in the spirit, versus staying in the church realm where, we tend to just pray, and ask God like a vending machine for whatever we want, and versus having a personal relationship with him. So where was that transition for you?
Open eventually. I met my spiritual father, and he was completely different than what my pastor was. He started lining me in the apostolic and started kind of teaching me who I am as a father and how I need to grow and mature and kind of change the way that the church is going, kind of getting people to grow and mature in a different way. And he opened some doors for me in the States, in America. And so I started coming to America, and I would go to small meetings in churches, and I would prophesy and preach, and it was really going extremely well. And I remember driving to Florida, Orlando, Florida. We were having a sons meeting there where I would meet my spiritual grandfather. And on our way there, I was driving with a lady that was taking me to these meetings. And we were talking about all these crazy things, but never been church. It's not in the church, like translating and walking through walls and levitating and flying. Some of the things that Jesus did that we never saw. And so it was crazy to talk about it, but it was so exciting, almost like a relief, because I could never talk about that to anybody, really. And a couple of days later, she sent me a link to Justin Abraham's ministry. And so I found Ian Clayton there, and I listened to some of his messages. Actually, the first message I listened to was on the courts. And I remember lying in the bed in Baton Rouge, and I was like, I need to shut this down. This is not from God. This is a rubbish. I don't like this. It's crazy. But my spirit